Hi, this is Alex Coleman, and this is my 13.4 initiatives and strategies for increasing participation. So my first scenario for it is for the Sportivate, and it's John. He's 13, lives in Hastings. He loves wakeboarding, went once on holiday with family, but hasn't been able to afford it at home. He doesn't enjoy team sports. So some barriers that face John are his location, because he lives in Hastings, so there isn't much opportunity. There isn't many facilities and clubs that cater to the sport he plays, so he might have to travel for a while to get to where he can do wakeboarding. He doesn't have a lot of money, as he hasn't been able to afford wakeboarding at home, which shows that he has a low socioeconomic status, and also because of his age he would have to rely on his parents supplying all the money to allow him to do this sport. And also he doesn't enjoy playing team sports, so it'd have to be very specific for what he wants to do at Sportivate. So Sportivate could help John, as his family don't have that much money, so Sportivate being free will make it more accessible for him. Also, they could set up activities close to him so that he doesn't have to travel that far to do wakeboarding. And having this around might make John more confident, as he does like competitive environments, so it being he doesn't like competitive environments, so it being less competitive might make him more confident, so they'll allow him to make more friends and enjoy what he's doing. So Sportivate is an Olympic legacy, based on the Olympic legacy to increase mass participation, and it gives young people the chance to discover a sport that they love, and it gives access to it. So it's 6 to 8 weeks of free or very cheap coaching, and it looks to begin a sporting habit. So in England it gets £400,000, and in Sussex it's 14,000. So it's potential benefits. It targets inactive people, so it could get people who just sit around playing computer games or doing stuff like never really going out. It targets them, so it can get them to go out, do exercise, do whatever they want, and find something they like. It comes at reduced cost or even free, so it can get lots and lots of people into it. So it can be run for 8 to 10 weeks, and there can be other funding, so it can get funding from other places so that it can continue. But there are some limitations, so it is 8 to 10 weeks, but there is limited funding, even though it might be able to find funding from somewhere else, but there is limited funding. There is only a specific target audience, so inactive people, so if you do play sport, or even not that much, but you still want to play more, it might not cater to you, as they want less active people. And yeah, that's some potential benefits and limitations of Sportivate. So the scenario 2 is Project 500. So Louise is a talented football player. She has completed her CSL and loves coaching others, but her male PE teacher doesn't encourage her to coach the younger male or female school teams, and gives the role to his boys mostly. So some barriers are that the PE teacher doesn't encourage her. She's trying to get into women coaching, but obviously there's a stereotype to women, so sexism is obviously one. And culture, there's not many women coaches, and there's obviously stereotype towards women, so that men are better, they'll do a better job coaching and stuff like that, even though it's not true. So her coach doesn't encourage her, so that could put her off wanting to coach in the future if she's doesn't think that other people think she's good enough, so that could discourage her. There aren't that many women coaches, so there is a stereotype that they aren't good enough, and it's mostly male dominated, so it's a lot harder for women to get a job in coaching. And with there being less opportunity for Louise in coaching, as her teacher wants the boys to do it, and in the sport world it is more male dominated, so this can make her upset, as she might spend ages trying to find somewhere where she can take a coaching course and then find a team to coach. So that can make her upset, and then she might get more emotional, and that she might put her off coaching forever, and she might try and do something else, even though coaching's the thing she loves. So Project 500 aims to get women into coaching, and so in the world of sport, 30% of females are coaches. 30% of coaches are female, and it was launched on International Women's Day, and at the moment it has recruited 530 female coaches. So this can really help Louise, as it tries to get women into coaching. So you just go along there and they'll do courses with you, stuff like that, and put you on teams for you to coach. So if Louise goes along there, then it'll put her in a much better place for her in the future, so she can get jobs, and she won't feel as bad if someone's saying, oh, you can't coach because someone else is better. This place, they'll be like, oh, you can coach, you're good at it, so you'll be put with this team, you'll be put with this team. So it will encourage her and maybe make her think yeah, I want to do this, I want to take this in the future. So some benefits and limitations of Project 500. So it has 3 national awards. So these are some benefits. It has 3 national awards. There are 560 new coaches. Its legacy is to reach, track and monitor all these coaches. It has equality. There's equality in this. There's more of an empowerment of the female in a male environment. And there are more female role models. So in this Project 500, but some limitations are not everywhere so it's not everywhere. There are still places where there's an imbalance in female and male coaching, so it's hard to get in there, and male perceptions and male dominance, so it's more male, you go to a job as a female and they might be like, oh yeah, the man's better, so you won't be able to get a job, or this person next to you is better, so you won't be able to get this job. Go look somewhere else, and that will be a lot harder and a lot more sad for the person. So yeah, that's for Project 500. And Scenario 3 is the school sports games. So Sarah has a mobility impairment, and she does not participate with her class in PE lessons as much as she'd like, and she is determined and competitive by nature, but is unable to compete in the school's netball team. So some barriers are that she has a mobility impairment, which doesn't allow her to take part in physical activity. She doesn't take part in that much physical activity, so that can make her more unfit for it if she ever got better and was able to play it. It might be a bit harder for her to get back into it if she doesn't play much, then she could be a lot more unfit. And she's unable to compete in the school's teams, which can make her very upset and maybe discourage her from playing sport. If she's not able to in school, then she might think, oh, I don't want to play it now because I can't play it at school or anything. But school sports games will be good for Sarah, as they have lots of opportunities for disabled people to go along and get involved in sport and just have fun playing stuff they love if they're competitive like Sarah is. So she would really like this, even though she can't play at school. If she went here, she would really enjoy it, and it would make her really happy that she can do all this sport. So school sports games, and the Sussex School Games, is a mini Olympics and Paralympics, giving Sussex school children the chance to participate in competitive sport at different levels. So for school sports games, there are 4 levels that young people can get involved in. There's one which is intra-school competition and participation, so just in your school, like different classes being in different teams and then playing against each other. There's also the inter-school competition, so different schools from the same area, like close to each other, playing against each other. Level 3 is county competition, so different people, different schools, different kids from the same county going to play against each other in different sports. And then there's level 4, which is the elite national school games, which gets kids, like the best kids, the most competitive kids from each school, and puts them into national games. And that is the school sports games, so there are 4 levels, and what it does for the children. So the benefits of school sports games is that there's a variety of non-traditional activities. It's very inclusive, so it gets everyone, disabled people, people who might not like sport, it can get them involved and get them playing again. There's lots of volunteering opportunities at schools games, and it has the schools games mark, which is very high level. But potential limitations is that for the elite level, it's very competitive, so it'll be a lot harder for people who might love sport, but if they're not maybe good enough, then they won't get into the level 3 or 4, so the county or national level, and that might make them quite sad and like not want to carry on sport if people don't think they're good enough for this stuff. So it might like discourage them at a much younger age. They will never want to carry it on again. And that's my evaluation of school sports games. And that is my 13.3 strategies and initiatives complete. This is Alex Colmer. Thank you for watching.